A Florida teacher is accused of biting students over a jar of pickles. A Florida man tried to cut the gay out of his brother. A Florida woman is charged with a DUI after huffing deodorant. And a Florida man walked naked onto his neighbor's property and pooped on his table. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian, and the only daily weird news podcast that does Florida Friday. That's right. All the stories today, all weird, all from the state of Florida. Let's do it. A Florida teacher is accused of biting students, but why? A Florida teacher has been suspended, faces charges after being accused of biting a couple students over a jar of pickles. A spokesperson from the public school in Bartow, Florida, said a complaint affidavit of 2 counts of battery had been filed against a teacher named Rhonda Rice, who worked at the Bartow Middle School. According to the affidavit, Rice was in her classroom when she observed 2 of her students taking items from the kitchen. Rice then joined them, grabbed a jar of pickles off the shelf. The students thought that Rhonda was taking the pickles for herself to have an afternoon pickle feast. One student grabbed the jar of pickles in an attempt to place it back on the shelf. The student was like, "No, teacher, get back to work. We're having a snack over here. You have a job to do. You can't take a pickle break. There's a group of students out there waiting for you. They need your attention." When the student attempted to grab the jar of pickles from Rice, she bit the student in order for him to release the jar. A second student also tried to grab the jar of pickles from her, and Rice bit that student as well. Just bit 2 students. So, "You aren't going to take my pickles? I'm having a pickle break." The school district said that the 2 students reported Rice. Yes, of course they did. You can't bite your students and then expect them not to report you. When you show up at school, you don't expect to be bitten by a teacher. Maybe you're bitten by a rabid student foaming at the mouth. That's common. Perhaps a lizard on the playground might nibble your little ankle. You don't expect to get bitten by your actual teacher, the person in charge. Now, the teacher, Rice, told the school district she was, quote, playing with both students over the jar of pickles. And when they grabbed it from me, she says, I merely licked their arms to get them off. Is that your defense? I didn't bite them. I licked them. Where does it say you can't lick a student, huh? I would never bite them. I'm not an animal. I'll lick them. I would never bite them. I'm a very upstanding citizen of this community. I would never bite a student. I'll lick the shit out of one, but I'm never going to bite one. Now, there's a quote from one of the students that was bit. They will not release the names of this person, but he says, I was shocked, to say the least. She needs to be put in jail. She needs to learn from her mistakes. She can't put any part of herself on me. That's right. A teacher can't put any of herself on you, specifically those sharp teeth. Now, apparently, Rice has been suspended without pay, and she's been transferred to another middle school. Huh. How about that? Just transfer her to another school? That's a little fishy. They must be really short on teachers. I mean, and how do you make an entrance in that other school? Hey, so it says here you had an incident at your last school, and they transferred you here. Could you tell us a little bit about what happened? Well, you know, let's just say I have a pickle addiction, and when I don't get my pickles in the afternoon, I get a little ornery. I happen to bite a few students on the face and the elbow area, and so here I am. I'm at your beck and call. Just make sure you have me stocked with plenty of pickles, because I lose my shit without some pickles. A Florida man was arrested for trying to cut the gay out of his brother. A Florida man was arrested on Thursday following a very violent dispute with his bro. His name's David Martinez, age 35. He was taken into custody because he threatened to cut the gay out of his brother. It wasn't just an innocuous verbal threat either. While he threatened to cut the gay out of his brother, he was also sharpening a large kitchen knife at the time, according to the police, who have arrested him on multiple charges. Martinez's brother said he'd been acting strangely since the previous night. Yeah, probably on some chemicals. I'm going to say there's narcotics involved, and along with narcotics, I would say some drug paraphernalia. You guys know. What's drug paraphernalia is the official bird of Florida, by the way. We got some details on how it went down. The poor brother, who they don't name, who's obviously gay, tried to leave the house when his brother threatened to kill him. Yeah, of course. My brother threatens to kill me. I'm going to leave. Are you sharpening that kitchen knife, buddy? What's that for? You're going to cut us up a steak? Oh, no, you're going to cut the gay out of me. Okay, I don't know if you can cut the gay out of someone, but I'm going to leave anyway. Martinez followed him outside. Oh, grabbed him. Demanded he get back inside. You get back in there, let me cut the gay out of you. This is almost as silly as trying to exorcise the gay out of someone, which some religious folks attempt to do. I'm going to exorcise those gay demons. I just want to let everybody know, are we clear that there's no gay demons inside you, and there's no gay organ either. You don't have a gay organ in there that you can just cut out and then the gay goes away. It's just I don't know what Martinez what blogs he's been reading, or has he been watching Alex Jones videos maybe? Like, I'm gonna cut the gay out of you. What's the gayest organ inside somebody? Is it the spleen? I'm gonna cut out that spleen. That's the gay organ. Okay, in fear, the victim returned to the house. Yes, of course, he's afraid of his brother. But then he escaped. Oh, thankfully. Called the police. The police came. They attempted to detain this guy, Martinez. But he became irate. He began to struggle, of course. He was finally grabbed by the officers, and they say he was redirected to the ground. They redirected him. Yeah, we redirected him from trying to cut the gay out of his brother with a kitchen knife to the grass. You want to redirect the perpetrator when they're wielding a knife, if you can. Redirect them to the ground and redirect them into a cell, and probably redirect them in front of some therapists, because if you think that you can cut the gay out of somebody, you need a lot of help. Now, there's a very sad mugshot of David here I'm looking at. He seems to be in tears. He's either very upset that he's now in prison in an ugly wife beater, or he's just upset still that his brother's gay. He just can't accept it. It's just such a shame. David, you got to accept your brother for who he is, man. You can't cut that out of him. Oh, man. I wish the world had more love and acceptance. Well, I'm trying to spread that with Weird AF News. Guys, I love everybody. Don't try and cut anything out of anybody. You know, maybe you don't like that your boyfriend's playing World of Warcraft all day long. Well, you can't just cut the World of Warcraft out of him. You got to embrace him. You got to love him for who he is. Jonesy just shifted gears into therapy mode. A Florida woman has been charged with driving under the influence after huffing deodorant. Now, a car was pulled over by the police. It smelled strongly of deodorant, and it led to accusations of intoxicated driving against one poor South Florida woman this week, according to the Martin County Sheriff's Office. The 31-year-old woman, who hasn't been named, is charged with driving under the influence of right guard. Investigators suspected the driver was, quote, huffing cans of deodorant to get high as she drove. And as for evidence, they found a pile of empty right guard cans in the back seat. She's just huffing the cans and chucking them into the back seat. Wow. Here's a quote from the police department. Her demeanor during a traffic stop gave deputies a better understanding of why her normal faculties may have been impaired. Normal faculties. There ain't no normal faculties in this woman's life at all. She's huffing deodorant, bro. The deputy could smell the strong scent of some deodorant inside the car, which is typically a nice smell. When asked, the driver said she sprayed the deodorant because she really likes the smell. She wants her car to smell good, you know? Yeah, your car smells great when you first buy it, but then you drive it in Florida for several years, and it starts to smell like a sticky mess. It starts to smell like drug paraphernalia. So it made sense that she wanted her car to smell nice, but after further investigation, she admitted she was drinking some alcohol earlier in the day, and then got in her car and drove around while huffing deodorant. While driving, of all times, to huff the deodorant, which takes a lot of skill, by the way. It's not easy to huff deodorant and drive at the same time. Now, the Martin County Sheriff's Office has made a lot of DUI arrests so far this year. And we just want you to know that impaired driving is not just limited to alcohol. It includes alcohol, drugs, and now apparently a deodorant. We never expected to add this to the impaired driving list, but you gotta be flexible now these days. People are finding different ways to get high. We're going to tell you right now, any type of inhalant that can impair your normal faculties is what you want. You know, I've been living in Florida for many decades. It's hard to come across people with normal faculties down here, but when you're behind the wheel, you should have normal faculties. You shouldn't be huffing deodorants, or I would say even vegetable sprays can provide a short high when inhaled. But, you know, it may be a good sensation. I've never tried it, but we want you to know that the sensation comes at a very great risk. You know, these things contain dangerous chemicals that sometimes can be psychoactive, also known as mind-altering. They have mind-altering properties when you inhale them, even right guard. I mean, most inhalants affect the central nervous system. Did you not know that? They slow down brain activity. Now, Floridians have slow brain activity to begin with, so you don't want to slow down your brain activity with inhalants like deodorant. There's short-term effects when you inhale this crap, similar to alcohol. You know, you might have some distorted or slurred speech. You might have a lack of coordination. You probably can't control your body movements very well. You're going to feel high, though. It's a euphoria. You might feel a little dizzy. You're not going to be able to operate large machinery, though. I'll tell you right now, okay? So we have to take care of that. So it's just a warning to all you guys out there. Just be careful the amount of deodorant that you spray in your car, you know? We might have to bring you into the station, man. Wow, that was a very long quote from that Florida officer. Highway patrolman. Truth be told, only about 1/5 of that was the quote of the actual officer. But hey, you know, I just want to pass on some helpful information. I had no idea you could get high off your deodorant. Now, as you guys know, I'm not one to just take someone's word for things. I believe in first-person experience, so I have my deodorant here. We have a nice, beautiful bourbon cedar. Okay, I didn't even know you could get high off this stuff. Let's give it a try here. Oh, wow. Smells pretty good. Oh, the bourbon cedar. Wait, you really hit this. Oh, all right. Oh, that's good. I'm going to hit this a few more times before I record the next one. Oh. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Yeah, Floridaman walked onto a neighbor's property and pooped on a glass table. Right on a glass table. It says for unknown reasons, a Floridaman. Yeah, unknown reasons. Okay, bud. No, we know the reasons, bro. We know the reasons. Drug paraphernalia. Check his drawers for drug paraphernalia. Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't have any drawers because he was fully naked when he walked onto his neighbor's property and pooped right on the table. So, were people present for the poop performance? The story goes that the 64-year-old Kenneth Clark Carlisle, wow, that's Kenneth Clark Carlisle. His name is of the extreme alliteration. Kenneth Clark Carlisle was fully naked when he walked up the driveway of his next-door neighbor. Oh, man, when you see your neighbor walking up your driveway fully naked, you know you're in trouble, right? Kenny Clark Carlisle climbed up onto his neighbor's porch where there was a glass table. Seems like a strange place to have a glass table on your porch. Okay. Kenny Clark Carlisle was naked and hovered over the glass table and dropped, it says here in the story, quote, a hot deuce. You guys know what a hot deuce? This very professional article. Was this article written by a bro? A frat boy wrote this. Yo, bro, Kenny Clark Carlisle just dropped a hot deuce on the table, bro. He dropped a hot deuce. You guys know a hot deuce? I mean, that's what we called it in Boston, too. A hot deuce. In other words, a number two. A hot, steamy number two on a glass table. Huh, what a vision. Carlisle was arrested and booked into the Pinellas County Jail. Oh, everybody in the Pinellas County Jail is just a real quality individual. Half of the people in the Pinellas County Jail are just naked. They're just pulling in naked people all the time. Can you imagine being the booker in the Pinellas County Jail? Yeah, another naked person. What did you do? I took a deuce on a table. I also took a deuce on a child in the Walmart parking lot. I thought it was okay. By the way, this is a misdemeanor if you poop on your neighbor's table. That's all? It's just a misdemeanor? This is a frightening thing to do to somebody. It should be more than a misdemeanor, man. According to the police report, Carlisle was captured pinching a loaf on the pinching a loaf on the patio. Who wrote this? Come on. Pinching a loaf? Okay. That's very... Usually you get like those highfalutin police words because they don't want to say pinching a loaf. Ooh, wow. I feel a little dizzy from this deodorant. I'm not going to lie. This is effective. Okay. So Carlisle was pinching a loaf on the patio table on, quote, two separate angles of the victim's home security video footage. Oh, no. I hope they don't have a under-the-table camera. We're going to cut to the under-the-camera table shot. Under-the-table camera shot. Sorry, I messed up. Under-the-table camera shot. It's like the backboard shot when you watch NBA games. They put it right behind the glass. Oh, you can see the loaf being pinched and dropping right down on you in 3D, basically. Oh. Whew. All right, let me take a breath here. Hold on. Okay, when the officers arrived at Carlisle's home, they spoke to him through the door of his RV. He lives in an RV. Wow, what a surprise. You mean the naked man that pooped on the table on your porch lives in an RV? I would have never thought. They spoke to him through the door. Did he try and poop onto the door while you were speaking to him? He just loves to poop through see-through objects. He likes to give you the real 3D poop experience. When the police arrived and spoke to him through the door, he was visibly naked still and still highly uncooperative. Well, in his defense, maybe he had some Indian food. He just couldn't stop himself. Why even wear pants after you've had Indian food? You're just going to be on the toilet for hours. You want a quick little trip to the bathroom. You don't want to bother with also taking your pants off yet again. Now he's on bond for criminal mischief. It seems just like you're going to call this mischief? This guy crapped on somebody's porch. Is this really mischief? $250, that's all? Well, I guess, guys, if you want to poop on anything that doesn't belong to you, it only costs you $250. So do you have some sort of revenge inclinations? Well, for $250, you can do whatever. Did you get fired for something you really shouldn't have been fired for, and you know where your boss's car is? Well, you can poop right on the windshield. It's only $250 to make yourself feel good. It says here, because this isn't the first time in the last 6 months that Kenny's been in trouble, he's staying behind bars. He was busted for drunk driving and firing multiple firearms into a lake near his house. Police said he fired the guns while sitting in his car. Wow. This guy don't give a shit. No, he does give a shit. He gives too many shits. We want him to give less shits. Yay! Hey, it's Jonesy, and you're my listeners. Thank you for getting all the way to the outro, joining me for another episode of Florida Friday. Thanks to everyone who sent me articles, and I now have a responsibility to make a disclaimer that Jonesy nor Weird AF News condones huffing deodorant of any sort. I just experimented with it, and I can tell you firsthand that it will make you dizzy. I don't recommend it at all, especially for children. Please keep your deodorant out of the reach of youngsters, if you could. It is a very potent inhalant, apparently, so just be very careful. And if you're going to sniff some deodorant or apply way too much of it on yourself, don't get behind the wheel of a vehicle, please. Wait a little while. We don't condone that at Weird AF News. I have some praise and thanks that I'm going to dole out right about now. The first one is to someone on YouTube who goes by the username Mighty Quinn, who made a comment on my video where Jonesy's fixing the highways. If you didn't see that on my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/WeirdAFNews. Yeah, I put up a video on how to fix America's highways. Mighty Quinn liked it and wrote, I think we realized that 2-axis controls were too difficult for most people. I will vote for you to name things. Jonesy, your eloquence knows no bounds. Love the videos. Glad you are growing. I really enjoy your take on the news as well. A laugh in the morning is good medicine. See you on the next one. Well, thank you, Mighty Quinn. I'll definitely see you on the next one. I'm going to make more videos about Jonesy fixes shit So if you want me to fix a problem in the world, just email me. Let me know what that problem is, and I'll do my best to fix it in a video. funnyjones@gmail.com. That's where you can message me. Sherry Boone sent me an email. She wrote, it's called Moet Champagne is the name of the title. I did a story yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday, oh, my huffing seems so far away. I did a story about ecstasy was found in bottles of champagne. So she wrote, good Lord have mercy, Jonesy. 3 liters? Who in God's name buys 3 liters of champagne? Is this a whole family fun night? That shit doesn't stay good that long after opening anyway. That'd be a fun night, though, loaded with that MDMA. Woohoo! Sherry Boone! All right, Sherry's very fun. Sherry's probably a Floridian. Hey. Just kidding. Everybody loves MDMA. You don't have to be from Florida. Although people in Florida like to take it, I don't know, before they go to a baptism and other inappropriate places and venues. Public intoxication is a thing in Florida. Anyways, if you guys would like to send me articles or whatever over the weekend, want to reach out to me, it's funnyjones@gmail.com. Call the show 646-450-2012. You can reach out to me on the gram, Instagram @funnyjones, or Twitter @funnyjones. If you'd like to support the show and support my coffee habit, my caffeine habit, I can drink caffeine and get behind the wheel for sure. We can all do that for the most part. It's a very innocent drug, right, guys? We love it. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yeah, Patreon. Patreon.com/WeirdAFNews. That's how you join the Patreon. Or download the Patreon app on your smartphone and then search for Weird AF News in there. You can support the show. Go to WeirdAFNews.com, click on the Patreon link as well. Or you could just click on the PayPal and give Jonesy a one-time donation if you're feeling exuberant, if you're feeling euphoria over the weekend. It's hard to feel euphoria in the current climate that we're living in right now, with inflation and everything as well. You probably don't have as much money as you normally do. So I understand if you can't support the show that way. That's no problem. You could tell a friend about Weird AF News over the weekend. Mention Florida Friday. That's a good starting point. Maybe their first episode that they listen to is Florida Friday, and then we got them hooked, guys. Anyway, spread the word, and I love you very much. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe, please. Don't huff anything, all right? And if you do, make sure you stay on the couch.